Yes.
I now turn to my beloved constituents in St. John's Rural West.
Yes, yes.
Rural West is dear to my heart.
Yes.
It is where I was born,
Yes.
raised and nurtured.
Yes.
It is where I live. So you would understand when I tell you that it pains my heart to see the neglect of Rural West by the current MP and the ALP administration.
Wicked set of people.
Mr. Londell Benjamin, you have done us wrong. You have abandoned the people of St. John's Rural West. You do not care for us. And God knows that we deserve better.
Yes.
You are the absolute worst representative that we've ever had. A failed experiment. And we can't wait to send you and the ALP packing. Mr. Londell Benjamin, you presided over the huffing of our secondary school without showing common sense or fearlessness to ask your leader for a replacement school for the children of Rural West. That was bad. Very bad. To add insult to injury, you, Londell Benjamin, the elected representative of the people of the constituency of St. John's Rural West, stood up in the Parliament on February 12th this year and verbally abused your constituents. You called 3,511 signatories to the petition to keep the Five Islands Secondary School idiots. That's 75% of the electorate in the St. John's Rural West constituency. Can you imagine that? You called us idiots for wanting a secondary school in Rural West, the constituency that you represent.
Yes.
Not once, but you said it twice, which says you really mean them. Many of these same constituents voted for you and the Antigua Labour Party in the last general elections. I'm still waiting for the ALP hierarchy to condemn the statement. Their failure to do so is an endorsement of this insult, this grave insult. But the people will show their true feelings about you, Londell Benjamin, and the ALP when they go in that voting booth in the very near future. It gets worse. This same Rural West MP presided over the huffing of our community centre at Knocker Block. 2 years have gone by, and not one word from this representative against the housing of the Magistrates Court in our community centre. He is in full agreement with his government to deprive the residents of St. John's Rural West of a community centre. The people of Rural West are not a priority for Londell Benjamin. Sadly, the Ministry of Works has not put in the refurbishing of the Magistrates Court in its list of projects for 2021. So the government has no plans, clearly saying to us, we have no plans of moving the court from there anytime soon. This has been an unbearable situation for the people and has not gone down well in the community on both sides of the aisle. We will demonstrate our disgust. We will certainly demonstrate our disgust when we go in that voting booth in the very near future. People of Rural West, I will continue to fight to get the community centre turned over to us for the benefit of the community. And we will fight to get our children their secondary school. We have already identified appropriate lands for this. Mr. Londell Benjamin and the ALP administration are in the huffing business. Did you know that? Yes, they're in the huffing business. They huffed, and a lot of people are not aware of this, they huffed 93.75 acres of land down at Pensioners Side Hill for an Iraqi village, rather than distributing those lands to the people of Rural West. That must be reversed. Listen to a true story. An example of how Mr. Londell Benjamin continues to preside over the wanton neglect of our community infrastructure. I got a telephone call one Sunday, some weeks ago, asking me to come to see some residents in the Cooks Development area to help in solving a problem. When I got there, the residents told me that the road that they've been using for years to access their properties is private property, and the owner has commenced construction. The actual public access was a pathway that crossed a waterway. They said that they approached the MP, and instead of helping them, he told them to go to public works. Go to public works. But isn't he the one who should be approaching public works with this matter? I can tell you, I felt their pain as they related the situation to me. But I am pleased tonight to report that my team and I solved the problem. And the residents now have vehicular access to their homes. And let us not forget Peeling Point.
Yes.
I had warned the authorities of the pending disaster if the pier was not attended to immediately. I even lobbied for the repairs to be done.
Profit.
We recall the almost catastrophe that day that the jetty at Peeling Point collapsed, and several persons fell into the cold sea and had to be rescued.
Yes.
This was a wanton neglect of the people of rural West.
Yes.
Where were you, Londell? Where were you? We couldn't find you to help us. You didn't show any interest. Some kind of representative you are.
Come for the photo up.
There are many more such horrifying stories.
Yes.
Rural West people are suffering
Yes.
and are fed up. And I can't just sit back and watch my people suffer.
No.
So I am taking care of business by providing representation where the LP has failed.
Yes.
We have been consistent in our work to clear overgrown bushes in many areas, mainly for security reasons.
Yes.
We have, among other things, assisted in the cleaning of gutters and drains that have been left unattended for months. The MP himself even admitted in his presentation in Parliament that the gutters are filthy. Imagine that. The representative saying that the gutters are filthy.
And you didn't happen?
What did he do to address the situation? Absolutely nothing.
Shameful.
The neglect is overwhelming. Benji is a tragedy. The man is like a COVID variant on the people of St. John's Rural West. This ALP administration have huffed our facilities. You're in the huffing business. But they cannot huff our pride and resilience. They cannot huff our willpower. They cannot huff our vote. Soon, you'll be political history, Mr. MP Londell Benjamin.